maybe you didn't where you are, but down
Right,
around
the
the hospital,
hospital,
like
Cape May, Cape May, and,
Yeah. us about in any case, Brother Craig Deputy is going to be our speaker for this morning's Bible class. He is from the Foster's Home for Children, and he's going to be telling us about the good work that's going on there and how it is that we might help. So, you know, in the spirit of helping widows and orphans and other folks that are in need, here's an opportunity for us to put our faith in action. So without any further delay, here's Brother Craig Deputy.
Good morning, church.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
I don't know if this is on, but if it's not, you'll still be able to hear me. I'm a former teacher and educator for 25 years. Sometimes I get down and low. Winslow, Arizona. There were Bible camps and youth rallies and all that good stuff back there, and he was there at the same time I was there. And then a couple years ago, I went into Rose's Cafe, and my daughters, that looks like Jim Bowles.
Hey,
So I walked over.
You need to turn that on, or that it's not going out.
Green light on.
There we go. I said, "Are you Jim Bowles?" He goes, "Yes, I am." So we sat down and talked, and I found out he went to church here, and then I found out just a few minutes ago that Park's son and daughter-in-law go to McDermott Road, where I've been going for, I mean, it's just, you know how the church is very small, and you know people from all over the place? I've been at 8 different churches the last 8 weeks. This is the best job in the world, and I don't really call it a job. This is a mission for me. And everybody I meet is somebody new within the church, and I get to know new people, and I absolutely love it. I adore it. I know a lot of people here at Rock Hill, and you guys have been given to Foster's Home for a very long time. Anybody have any idea when the first time was you actually gave to Foster's Home for Children? 5 years, 10 years, 20 years?
About 25 years ago.
Okay. Has anybody been here since 2001? 1, 2. Most likely, yes. Okay. She told me she was somewhere in the above 50 range, so yes, we've got that figured out. But July of 2001 was the first time that you donated to Foster's Home, and you have continued to give since then up until this time, and the money you give is an absolute blessing. You are investing in the lives of our children. You're not supporting, you're not donating, you're investing. So what would you think is the primary thing that we do at Foster's Home for Children? Like, what do we do there? Take care of children. How do we do that? Guys, it's all about normalcy, okay? Where do these kids come from, first of all? Well, they come from broken homes, dysfunctional homes, toxic homes. Their parents are abusive, verbally, sexually. I mean, it's ugly. These kids come from some ugly situations. We have 16 homes on campus, okay? And in those homes, we have house parents or caretakers. And most of our caretakers are in the age range of 60 to 70. So we are on the hunt for some new caretakers because 2 of our caretakers have cancer. So now we're in the process of trying to get some younger generations in to do the caretaking. And we right now have 6 of the 16 homes filled up. So we have 10 homes that are vacant because we don't have house parents. So I've left some information on the back table for you. If you know anybody at all that might have an interest in doing something of that nature, it's a calling, it's a ministry, it's a mission, but we're needing some. I think they said they were going to volunteer for us here in the next couple of months, right? Yes, house parents right here, maybe? He's like, we're out of that range, okay. We have graduated out. So this is my information. I mean, I don't know if you want to take a picture of it. I've got cards on the back table, but if you ever have questions, anything at all, I'm available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I work 7 days a week. And I don't like to say the word work because this is not work to me. This is an absolute blessing that I'm a part of this. These are some of the kids. They're out playing around. Guys, the campus is absolutely gorgeous. Okay? I'm going to show you here in a minute, but before I do that, I'm an educator. So the first day of school, when you come in, educator, right? Any other educators in here? Teachers? Okay? So the first day of school, we like to ask the students questions. What do they know before I start teaching them, right? So here's some of the questions. So first of all, how many of you have ever heard of Foster's Home for Children? I would assume everybody, right? Okay? Most everybody. Okay? How many of you know where Foster's Home is located? I already told a couple of people. Stephenville, Texas. Okay? How far is that? Too far. Okay. Well, I go there every Wednesday. I drive 2.5 hours every Wednesday to be on campus for meetings and different things. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm at churches across the state of Texas. Okay? I am out there seeking support, seeking investments, seeking donations from churches, from individuals, from corporations. So it's not just a church thing, but we are Church of Christ affiliated. Okay? A lot of children's homes these days are, for whatever reason, going away from the Church of Christ affiliation. Okay? Even the Bowles home is no longer a Church of Christ affiliated organization. So we are Church of Christ affiliation. Caretakers and children have to go to church. Okay? I mean, that's part of our ministry. And that's the first time that a lot of these children have ever gone to church. I mean, and they love it. They get around people that care about them, that love them, that show the support. Getting a hug from somebody saying, hey, I love you. They don't have this. So when they get in there and these churches are surrounding them with love, it's huge. It's huge. And I'm going to show you some pictures later of children being baptized from the home. I mean, that's the ministry. So now, how many of you know what Foster's Home primary mission is? We just went through that a little bit. Okay? Here is our campus. Has anybody ever been on campus? You are welcome at any time to come on campus and someone will take you on a tour around the campus. We have 16 homes. We have administrative offices. We have a commissary. What is a commissary? That's where they get their food. It's like a mini grocery store. Like we get and they fill that commissary up so house parents can come in anytime and get food for the week. They don't have to pay for any food at all. It's all made available and ready to them at any time. Okay? We have an activity center where the kids can participate. We have a big, gazebo type thing where they can play basketball and pickleball and all those things, and they go hiking and they go fishing. These are things that these kids have never done before in their life. Never. Some of these kids haven't even been in school and they're 12 and 13 years old. So it's time that we really invest in their lives, and some of these kids turn out to be doctors and lawyers because they have that foundation now that they didn't have before. Okay? But this campus is beautiful. In September, we have an all-call where anybody can come in on campus and visit with the caretakers, visit with the administration, visit with anybody if you're concerned or wondering where your money goes. Like, where does our money go? Like, you give so much each month, we don't know where that goes. Well, this is what I'm trying to lay that foundation for you and help you understand that this is not a wasted effort at all. So we've been around since 1960. Okay? Yes, sir?
Do all the kids go to Church of Christ Sunday?
Yes. There are, I think right now there's 8 Churches of Christ in Stephenville, but some of them go to the smaller towns outside. Man, I can't even think of the names right now, but yes, they all go to a Church of Christ with their house parents. As house parents, you have to make that commitment if you get brought on. Like, we're going to the Church of Christ. Okay, if somebody comes on and says we're going to St. Philip's Catholic Church, that's not going to work. It's got to be a Church of Christ affiliation. Okay, we've served over 4,000 children. Very diverse group of children, not just white, not just black, not just Hispanic, not just Asian. It is a very diverse group. Okay? So people say, well, is it just this type of kid that comes? No. It's a variety of children that come in. We currently house 40 children. Okay? So there's an average of 6 to 8 kids in each home. So think about that for a minute if you're a house parent. You got 6 to 8 kids in your home every day, 24 hours a day. So to say that this is a simple thing doesn't work that way. I mean, you're feeding them, you're taking them to their activities, you're doing all kinds of things with these children. You're their parents, okay? One thing we don't do is discipline them with a spank or a grab or a hit. You cannot discipline the trauma out of a child. You just cannot. So there's a certain way we run through a sanctuary model where everything is positive, energetic, motivational, inspirational. You cannot spank that. You don't know where these children came from. A lot of them were physically, emotionally, and spiritually abused, and we got to take care of that. So here's our mission: to love, serve, give, support, and invest. Every employee on site needs to make this commitment. Okay? As each one has received a gift, every one of us are blessed. I can't say that I'm not blessed. We're all blessed. Okay? Now, I know that all of us have seen the floods in Central Texas recently and the pain and the heartache and the struggle that these families are going through. But you also see from the outside people coming in, helping to support and encourage the best they can. So we've all been given a gift. Use it to serve one another. So think about 60 and 70-year-old couples taking care of 6 to 8 kids. That is selfless, unselfish, loving, kind, gentle, you name it. That embodies the fruit of the Spirit. We're trying to get some 30s and 40-somethings, but they just don't want to do it. I don't know if you know anybody in their 30s and 40s that wants to be a house parent. Whenever I point to somebody, they're like, no. Okay, that's okay. There's somebody out there, right? We'll find somebody. So 1 Peter 4:10 tells us this. We got to be stewards of God's varied grace. We got to be open and willing. And just the fact that you monthly give a donation, that's a huge, huge benefit. Huge. So understanding these children, take a look at these things here for a second. Family violence, neglect, abandonment, sexual abuse, domestic violence, physical abuse. Can you name anything up there that looks positive? Or is that just toxic, unhealthy? These are the homes that they're coming from. Okay? I'm going to show you some stories here in a second from the kids are interviewed once they come in to find out what situation they came from. Obviously, we need to share that with the house parents. You're going to be pretty shocked at some of the things that they share that they've been involved with. So this is a young lady. We obviously keep the name out for privacy's sake. Blank and her siblings were removed from the home due to their father strangling her. Guys, this is a 12-year-old girl. Her father was strangling her, okay? Trying to take the life from her. This happened in front of her siblings. There are also reports of physical abuse by their mother. The young lady has stated that her mother was mentally, verbally, and emotionally abusive. Blank has stated that her parents would make her drink alcohol and call her names when she didn't want to drink with them. Blank has stated that she was the one who called 911 and she felt guilty for doing so. She ran away from home in order to call 911 as her mother was attempting to take her phone and break it. Imagine what kind of fear as a child that you are facing at this point. It's heartbreaking, it's frightening, but these are the scenarios which the kids come from. So when they come into the children's home and you show them a little bit of love, how do you think they respond? Initially, they think it's fake. They think it's not real. You put that wall up until you realize 3, 4, 5 weeks down the road, okay, they're not changing. They're the same way they were when they came in, so you have to loosen them up a little bit. They're not going to just change overnight. Pat them on the back and say, I love you, and all of a sudden now they're a new person. It doesn't work that way. It's about going to church on a weekly basis. It's about bringing them into that home, showing them the love, the care, the mercy, and the grace that we have received. So they change, but it takes some time. And some of these children, one of the things that we have to make sure of is that everybody understands we are a basic level of care. Like, we're not going to bring a child in there that has severe schizophrenia, because then you're going to affect all the other children. We are a basic level of care. If a young man has been taken to juvenile hall for stabbing his parents, he's not going to come to the home. I mean, those are warning signs. They need a different type of help. But the basic level of care that we provide is necessary for these kids. And I don't think we have enough time, but there's several of these that I normally go through. But here's the normalcy. They go to school, they go to church, they have brothers and sisters, sports, they have a mother and father. Some people shock at 3 meals a day. Sometimes they don't get a meal. Maybe it's 1 meal a day. They have a bed and a shower, which some of them don't get. Medical appointment. First time, 13-year-old girl, first time she went to see a dentist. How do you think her teeth were? Probably not in the best of shape, right? But travel and vacation. A lot of the kids right now are at summer camps. Some went to Six Flags. Some went to Orlando, Disney World. They've never experienced this. Like, the joy they have from experiencing these things is overwhelming. Overwhelming. Here's some facts. We are not an adoption center. Okay? People cannot come into our facility and say, I like this child right here, can I adopt them? You have to do that through the state or through a private agency. We are not an adoption facility. We are not a discipline center like juvenile hall. We're not like that. We're a home. We are a home. Average stay, 3 weeks to 12 years. 40 kids on site at any given time. Now, the one thing that we are proud of, average academic grade for our students is 89%. That's pretty good, because some of these kids never went to school before. And most of them flunked their classes because they weren't there enough. We currently have 14 houses on site, and everyone on staff has to have a safety plan and prioritize self-care. Okay? What do you think it would look like to the kids if I showed up every Wednesday with a torn t-shirt, pair of shorts, and flip-flops? What do you think they would think about that? It's not healthy, right? So it's a manner of respecting each other. So here's some of our children. Katie, Janice, Ruby, James, Titus, Alex. Do any of the children up there look like brothers and sisters? James and Titus are brothers. Okay? So is it only just individual children that come in? No. We have families coming in. Last, I think 2 months ago, we had 11 children in the same family come in. All with different fathers. Same mother. I mean, it's mind-boggling to me. Okay? I've got 2 beautiful and amazing daughters, 17 and 11. I didn't have them until I was 38 years old. So I was a little more prepared, but I think everybody needs to go through some sort of class or training before they have children. That's just because sometimes 11 children, 11 different fathers with one mother. It boggles my mind, but that is our world, that is our society, this is what we are faced with, and it tugs at your heartstrings, okay? Do we see any brothers or sisters here? Yeah. Tyler and Travis, maybe? Yeah. Tyler is about 6'3", 250, and he's in 8th grade. So I don't mess with him. I just say hello. And But he is about as gentle as they come. Like you walk up and you're thinking he's hello. I mean, it's just like, that is because of how he was raised. Like he was abused. So it's just a different culture. Chanel, Mariah, and Shania, they're all sisters. Okay? So just giving you, and you can see the diversity that we have, the different ages. So Jeremiah, Jason, and DeJourney, brothers and sisters. Okay? Now, do they all stay in the same house? Not necessarily. It just depends on how many kids are in the house, whether or not that brother and sister actually get along with each other. Okay? So there's a lot of factors that go into whether or not they're going to be in the same house. Obviously, we want them to be in the same house. They want to be with their brothers and sisters, but if they don't get along, that's not going to work. Okay? And people ask me all the time, what's the age range for each house? Well, it could be newborn up to 18. So do you put all same ages in the same house? We try to, but sometimes it doesn't work that way. So you got different ages. The 17-year-old and 16-year-old can help out with the newborn or the 1 or the 2-year-old. Okay? So there's ways to help everyone work together and get along. Now you see Miguel there, okay? Very, very young. Very young. Now, every time I go into one of these houses, one of the kids will come up and give me a hug. Because now they're used to that. There's another person, come here. So now they're excited to give hugs and they want to be a part of that whole thing. It's just very emotional. I've been there now for 4 months, and just to get to know the children personally, like when I go there Wednesday and they come up and say, hey, how are you doing? And we engage with each other, just an emotional time. But they all have smiles, and here's our entire campus right here. I know it's hard for you to see all those kids up there, but I just want to give you an idea. These are all the kids on campus right now. We've got a very old child on the far right, third picture down, got a gray beard. That child aged very quickly. He is actually 75, but he likes to be silly, so he jumps in there with all the kids. He wants to get his face out there, but he's a very nice gentleman. Just wanted to get in there and be crazy. And next to him is Doug Young with 2 little boys. He's the CEO and president of the Foster's Home. So after about a month and a half, 2 months, they re-interview the kids. Okay? Things that make our kids feel safe. They said it. So after they've been in the home for a couple of months, let's find out if they're really okay. So my family takes me to church where I can learn and feel safe. A child said that. Okay? I feel safe and protected with locks, lights, and alarms. Like their house had no lights, no locks, no alarms. They didn't feel safe, but now they do. No access to guns, knives, brass knuckles, or deadly chemicals. That's crazy. Brass knuckles just laying around, guns laying around, knives laying around. Okay? Obviously, that stuff is not allowed. Not allowed on campus. So, happiness, joyful, laughter, no access to drugs, weed, cocaine, meth. And the bottom 3 are what get me the most. The first time anyone told me they loved me. That's pretty emotional. The first time anyone tucked me in at bed at night. My daughter's 11, and she still wants Daddy to tuck her in at night. Kids love that. I don't care how old you are. You may be an adult and say, spouse, tuck me in at bed at night. I don't know, but it's one of those things where you make that connection. You make that connection. And then the first time I went to school 2 days in a row. What? Like some of these children never went to school 2 days in a row. That's, I don't know what these parents are thinking. I don't know what they're doing, but it's very frightening to me. We talked about the sanctuary model a little bit. You cannot consequence the trauma out of a child, so here it is. Reframing the question. So when I was an educator for 25 years, do you think anybody ever fell asleep in my room? I mean, I'm a pretty exciting guy, right? I'm pretty motivational. I can get you going. But there's still some kids out there that really don't want to pay attention, maybe doodling on the desk, doing things that they're not supposed to do. And none of my students ever got their cell phones out, right? Okay, sure. So what I did as a teacher, I mean, a lot of teachers, if somebody's sleeping in your class, what do? Get up! Ah! I mean, they get angry, they get frustrated. But what's wrong with this child as opposed to what happened to this child? So as an educator, I would tell the student, I want to talk to you after class, I want to find out what happened last night. Maybe they stayed up babysitting their brothers and sisters because mom and dad were out drinking. I mean, you just don't know what happened in somebody's life. So I was one of those teachers, I'm not going to embarrass a child in front of the other student. That's the worst thing you can do. So I would take them out, and that's basically what we do. We've got to get to know what happened to this child instead of what's wrong with them. Because they're acting out doesn't mean they're a bad kid. They may be acting out because mom and dad physically and verbally abused them for the first 8 years of their life. So when you go to hug somebody, if they've been abused, they're going to draw back. They don't want you to touch them. So this is a huge part of our program, okay? These are some of the things that we have on campus for the kids. Obviously, they participate in sports. They participate in 4-H. Does anybody, I don't even know, does anybody live on a farm here? I know most of the farms are now taken with houses, but does anybody know? Like in Salina or anywhere? We have an ag program where the kids can raise animals, and then they can show them at the county fair and different things. A huge part of our program. Agriculture. If you've ever been to Stephenville, Tarleton State University, they are an agriculture university. And all the high schools, agriculture. So we try to get that out to the kids, but these are just a lot of the things that engage in. Did you guys get to see the eclipse? We bought them all glasses. They went outside, and they were in awe of what they were seeing. I mean, that's the first time they were exposed to anything like that, okay? We've got a ropes course. We've got arts and crafts that we do on a regular basis. We get out, they can be silly with the bubbles. And we're talking 3rd grade up to high school kids in the bubbles. They just want to be silly. I mean, I'm 55 and I'm silly with my girl. It's just, we want to be silly. We want to be kids again sometimes. It's not about being serious all the time, and you got to put that straight face on and make sure that everything's moving the right way. So here's our ag barn right here. Goats, cows, horses, sheep, chickens. So I ask if anybody has a farm because we do take donations of animals. And we actually will come and pick up any donation that you have, if you have something specific. Okay, you don't have to drive 2.5 hours to Stephenville to drop something off. We have people that come all over the state of Texas and pick things up. We have an auction in March. We go all over the state picking up tables and chairs and beds and all kinds of things for our auction. So those are ways that you can be involved outside of the $100 donation every month that the church gives, okay? So a lot of people always ask me, well, how can I help outside of what the church does? There's plenty of ways. So this is one of our caretakers. He's baptizing one of the children in his house. Awesome. I mean, awesome, awesome, awesome. Uh-oh. Okay. Well, some of the other things that you can do, okay, so do we have any golfers in here? Oh, wow. We got, okay. So in October, we have a golf tournament, and you put 4 people together, you come out, it's in Fort Worth. It's a scramble, okay? But you put those 4 guys together, you come out, you participate. It's a big fundraiser for the program. A fireworks show in October. Don't know why they don't do this in July, but they have a fireworks show. They used to do it as just a free event where everyone comes out. Last year they made $80,000 because people would pay to come and watch the fireworks. It's crazy. It's about an hour-and-a-half show. They use drones, they use fireworks, they use all kinds of things. So pretty exciting event. We have the auction. This auction is already over. That was in March, okay? But next March, the auction, but people are already planning for it. Like we're already going across the state picking up things for the auction in March, okay? So those are some ways, and another way that you can help, on the back table, okay, we currently have 2 campaigns going on. We have the Back to School campaign, and then we have the Holiday Blessing campaign. The Coin for Change. So I encourage you, if you have children at home, if you have grandchildren at home, or if you want to put it in your Bible class, or if you have a business, you can put it on the table in your business. Wherever you are most of the time, those little coin cans, I leave them here for about 3 months, and then I'll come back and pick them up. That is a huge part of our donation system, are the cans, okay? I think I dropped off, I dropped off 80 bags of 25-pound bags of coins to Bank of America a couple of weeks ago, and their eyes got really big, okay? But they have the machines to be able to separate them, okay? And I think those 80 bags were somewhere around $40,000. That's just from change. We have 140 churches that are right now donors for the children's home. So here's your trivia for the day. How many current churches of Christ are there in the state of Texas? Anybody? Wild guess. I mean, I know you don't know. Wild guess. 2,500. 2,000. Right now, there's 1,954 churches of Christ in the state of Texas. And we have 140. So I got a lot of work to do, right? Now, I go to a church sometimes and they say, we're already donating to 3 children's homes, or we don't support this type of ministry, whatever it might be. I mean, we don't get mad. It's just, I go out, I talk to these people, and if they can, they can. If not, it's okay. Because we've got individual donors. We've had donors basically donate their entire, what do you call it? You pass away and you have your estate. Thank you. A couple of years ago, a gentleman donated his estate, and it was valued at $6 million. So, but that money, I mean, it's being used. But people that have been part of that home for a very long time, they don't have any children. This guy was not married, so where was he gonna send his estate? And we were welcome to take that at that time. But there's so many ways that you can donate and give. A special needs campaign is another big part. Like I go to gym or I go to park and I say, look, we are running short on toilet paper. Okay? So then they get in front of the congregation, like they let you guys know over the next month, we're going to collect as much toilet paper as we can, and then Children's Home is going to come and pick it up, and that's your donation for toilet paper, whatever it might be. Okay? We've got probably 15 churches on a list right now that's basically how they donate. They don't have the financial means, so they get the church together and they do the donation, and it's very helpful. So in my travels, this is kind of hurtful. Okay, so in my travels, I've come across 10 churches of Christ that have closed their doors in the state of Texas. Okay, now we're not talking Dallas or Fort Worth. We're talking the smaller towns, but this is what's happening. This is what's happening. Okay, the larger churches are coming in, and guys, most of the churches that I go to, the average age of the congregation is somewhere around 50 or 60. It's a bad thing, but at some point, we got to get the younger generation excited and motivated to be a part of this. You got LCU and ACU and OCU, you got all these universities, but what we're finding out is a lot of these kids, after they graduate, they're either not going to church anymore, or they're going to the mainstream Christian churches because they have the bands and the rock bands and all those things. We really have to get into the minds of our younger kids and show them how important it is to be a part of this. Because it is a ministry, it is a mission. And we've got to work together to get these things taken care of. It's so important. And I wish I had a couple of these other slides that I could finish off with, but do y'all have any questions at all about the children, the home, anything that you're curious about? You guys give on a monthly basis. The last slide on here gave the exact total that you guys have donated since 2001, and if I'm not mistaken, it was somewhere around $35,000. And that's a huge blessing. So since 2001, Rock Hill Church of Christ has donated close to $35,000. And I like acknowledging that because I want you to see this is where your money is going. And it's used. And these kids are blessed by it. But if there's something outside of that church giving that you want to do, please contact me, get a hold of me, let me know. But these green cans on the back table, they do not open. So I can't open it. So basically it goes in the top. I'll come back in 3 months. We've got a huge machine on campus. I dump all the coins in that one machine, and it will tell me how much money you've donated through the coins. Then I will contact them, let them know so you guys can know. But we have these campaigns for back to school, holiday blessings, and for summertime to help with the kids. Okay? So, any questions at all? Or are y'all shocked right now? You're
So, what happens to the kids when they kind of age out or graduate?
I love that you asked that question because that was a slide that was missing and I was trying to remember what the slides were. So, about 10 years ago, the Foster's Home for Children decided we've got to make something available for kids that turn 18 and graduate. So they've built 2 apartment complexes on site. And when they graduate, they can move into that apartment and pay $50 a month rent as long as they're working and going to school. So at the age of 18, they can go out, they can leave, they can go on their own, or they can move into the apartment, and obviously there's rules. But if they don't have a car, the children's home gives them a car. So I think it's a pretty good deal. My apartment in Allen right now is $1,800 for a 2-bedroom. They're paying $50 a month until they're 23. I think that's a pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. I mean, the rules are pretty strict. They have to be. But that is something that when I got hired there, I thought that was a blessing for those kids to be able to. I actually spent time with Rick and Jana Fox. They are the coordinators of the SOAR home. Spent about 2 hours with them and got a lot of information about the homes. It's about an 800 square foot apartment. Has a kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, living room. It's fully furnished, so they don't even have to mess with that. Oh yeah. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that everybody takes a hold of that, but yes, there's several. We get letters back from kids that have left and 10 years later explain all the details. There's a letter on here that I wanted to share with you, a former elder at McDermott Road Church of Christ. Okay? This is quite humbling to me. When he and his wife were in their 20s, their young daughter had some issues. So they dropped her off at the children's home, and after about 5 years, they picked her back up, and now they live their life wonderfully. But you think an elder has a child in the home? Well, guys, that doesn't mean you're an elder. It doesn't mean that you're free from all these evil things that are going on. I mean, that's just but his letter states it very clear. Without that home, they don't know where their daughter would have ended up. So, but yes, quite a few of them remain in the faith. That's our mission. Absolutely. Thank you for that question. Anybody else?
Are they considered wards of the state? I mean, when they're removed from their home, does a judge assign them to
That's a great question. So 80% of our children right now are privately placed. So like that elder went to the home, dropped off his daughter, and then he left. But 20% are placed by the state. Okay? So those 80% have nothing to do with you're assigned here, you got to go there. If the state does tell you, though, that these parents, they've completed their classes, they're now good, then they got to go back. If they come and they want their kids, then they got to go back. So it's really, it's a hit and miss type of thing there, because those 11 kids that we brought in, they've been back and forth 4 times. So, I mean, it's got to be hard on those kids. Back and forth. Well, the state said that the parents went through the classes that they had to get through, and now everything's fine. The mom says she's no longer on drugs, and da-da-da-da. Then they can take them. So, obviously the CEO is not always on board with that, but you can't fight that. You can't fight that. So, it's unfortunate, but those kids are still on campus, and we'll do what we can while we have them to give them a loving and kind foundation. So, great questions. Anybody else? I know you all have been thinking very hard the last you've been listening to this presentation, and you're thinking, this guy, man, he's really got me thinking about being a house parent. And you're like, we're still over the age limit. Okay, all right. Well, I'll leave stuff on the back table for you guys. Appreciate Park and Jim getting me set up with this. Every year, I'll like to come back and give an update on the home. Next year, we may have 60 kids. We just don't know at this point. And what the CEO is trying to do now is also bring in the single mother division, where you have the single mother has the children and they live on campus. Bowles Home has that at this point, but he's trying to get that, and he wants to veer away from the state altogether. He doesn't want that to be a conflict at all. So we'll just see. We'll see what happens there, but he's hoping to have that done pretty soon. So, is that it? Yes?
You said you met Bonnie and I in Rosa's a couple of years ago. It's about 18 years ago, Greg.
Don't say that, because that makes me feel like
Time flies when you're having
holy
fun.
cow. Wow. That's crazy. Guys, one last thing. I mean, I've been at 8 different churches the last 8 weeks. This is so much fun to me. This is not a job. This is not work. This is nothing but a joy and a pleasure to be able to share with you what we do, to answer your questions. And I know but you guys are a blessing. We appreciate your support, and we'll be here with you for worship service. If you have any questions, but the coin cans are on the back table. Thank you all very much.